Thank you all so much for being here tonight, for spending your Thursday evening here with our group, enjoying some tea. So my name is Sara Boan, and I am a textile artist, a Reiki practitioner, and a therapeutic harpist, and also a student of tea, a student of Cha Dao, which is the way of tea. I will be sharing some things about Reiki, explaining the basics of Cha Dao, and also discussing the Reiki Precepts. So in the description of this event, you saw tea meditation with the Reiki Precepts. We'll be exploring the very first line of Mikao Usui's Reiki Precepts, and I'll explain all that for any of you who don't know about that. So what we'll be covering, we'll do an overview of Reiki and Cha Dao and the precepts. We will move on to a short guided meditation that will last around 10 minutes. And then we're going to spend around 20 minutes or so in what I like to call sort of a personal tea session. You can treat this time with your tea however you would like. We'll have some gentle music playing, but it'll be silent. And during this time, I'll do some more explanation, but there will be multiple things that can help you stay grounded in the moment that I will share with you. So let's talk about Reiki for anyone who doesn't know what Reiki is. So Reiki came about in the 1920s from a Japanese man named Mikao Usui. He had a sort of life-changing experience on Mount Kurama in Japan, and created or brought to the world this beautiful healing modality. Reiki means spiritually guided life force energy. And this life force energy can be, given many different names. Reiki is not a religion, but I like to feel or believe that this life force energy it's everywhere, it's limitless, it's the energy coursing through us, it's the energy that causes the seasons to change and the plants to grow, and it can be called upon whenever we need it. And that's one of the real beauties of Reiki. To train in multiple levels of Reiki, one thing that was such a delight to me when I started studying, and I studied with Anna, levels 1 through 2, and also with Kathleen Prasad, who teaches animal Reiki. She was my first teacher. Something that I thought was so lovely was that on that first level of Reiki, we first learn how to treat ourselves. And in so many things in life, we put ourselves last. But with Reiki, the idea is using, different places on the body to direct this beautiful healing energy so we can take care of ourselves before we take care of other people. That's something that has always been so dear to my heart with Reiki. And Reiki, as a system can be used on oneself and can be shared with others, whether just, hovering the hands over different parts of the body or a gentle touch. And it has this beautiful way of just bringing healing into the body that can't really be put into words unless you've experienced it. Mikao Usui also came up with what he called the Reiki Precepts. And this is a deceptively succinct list of principles that he wrote to help foster a life with more clarity and kindness and greater healing. And I'm going to read those precepts to you right now. There are not many words, but I'll read it slowly so you can just sort of take in the feeling of these precepts. So the precepts go like this. Just for today, I will not anger. I will not worry. I will be grateful. I will do my work honestly. And I will be kind to myself and all beings. I think there's a lot there. I think for each person that contemplates the precepts, there are different precepts that might feel a little stickier than others. I know for me, I will not worry is the one where I, sort of continually get caught up. My mind can be anxious. But something really special about the precepts is that first line, just for today. And that's what we're going to be contemplating today in this tea meditation. We're going to be bringing Reiki and tea together. So before we get to our guided meditation, and before we start talking about Cha Dao, I thought it would be interesting just to do just a short little check-in. Take a couple nice deep breaths and settle into your seat. And then consider those words just for today. What comes up in your body? And how might it change maybe different qualities you're trying to bring into your life or to strengthen? And just we'll sit with that just for a moment and explore just for today. And you can even say it out loud if you like. There's definitely power in the spoken word, or just think it to yourself. Every morning is a fresh start. And taking that even further, every moment is a fresh start. All right, you can come back whenever you're ready. We're going to move on to a brief discussion about tea. Tea as ceremony, tea as a meditative practice, tea as Cha Dao, the way of tea. So Cha Dao is the continuation of an ancient lineage of tea brewing, tea masters, tea lovers. We're spanning thousands of years here. We're going all the way back to ancient China when tea was first being brewed. And all those years have passed, and here we are all together in this moment, sitting with our respective teas, calling in from different places, but united in this virtual space. Cha Dao has its roots in Taoism and Zen Buddhism, but it's also not a religion. Some people do take it more seriously than others. I feel that it's a spiritual practice. It's definitely a cornerstone of my spirituality. I love spending around an hour or so each morning. First thing after I feed my cat, I set my tea stage, which is also called a chashi, and pick a few, I might pick some things from nature. Over here, there's a seed pod I found out on a walk. It's a datura, Jimson weed seed pod. And this was a little branch that had a bunch of acorns on it, but a squirrel had an excellent time and left the caps. So I brought those over, have my tea, and I have a tea bowl. For today's session, I'm going to be just briefly covering a very simple but profound method of brewing called leaves in a bowl. And this type of brewing is, I feel, more spiritually connected to the brewing of, thousands of years ago. Literally just taking a few loose leaves, putting them in a bowl, pouring hot water over, and enjoying multiple bowls of tea. But there are many different ways to brew. I'm going to be giving an overview of several of those ways over the course of the next few sessions, going all the way through July. So lots to share there. Cha Dao is a way of cultivating stillness, mindfulness, a connection to nature, a connection to this beautiful lineage of tea drinkers throughout thousands of years. And also just, the connection to the tea plant in general, the Camellia sinensis plant. But you can drink any kind of beverage for this. I believe you could even just drink plain water. I had an experience when I had COVID that I lost my sense of smell and taste, and I couldn't taste any tea. And that was very disturbing to me with my daily tea practice. I realized after a few weeks of this that I could brew just plain water in a bowl and find that same stillness. So I think the tea as a plant is, a wonderful support for this practice energetically, in terms of aroma and flavor. Tea the tea plant, Camellia sinensis, brings so much to this practice, but there's also other elements to consider. So I've set my tea stage. I hope you have, obviously your tea if you're drinking tea. Hooray. And something that you can do in developing a tea practice or furthering a tea practice is just to bring a little bit of intentionality to the tea drinking process. Uh, I mean, I love just a quick cup of tea if I am running around and I'm busy with work and I just need a little something, I will just brew up a bowl of tea, or if I have some tea left over from my morning tea sessions, I'll get a quick cup of tea, be drinking it as I'm zooming around the house. But coming to tea with just a little bit of intentionality sets it aside as a sacred experience. And all that really means is just coming to a place of stillness, taking a breath, being present with the tea, present with your teaware, present with yourself. And so that's what we're going to be exploring today as we contemplate this first part of the Reiki Precepts. I'd like to guide us in a short meditation before I turn the music on. The music will last for around 20 minutes, but we'll do a short guided meditation first. And I would like, if you're interested, you can follow me with this. I'm going to just do a brief visualization of drawing energy into the body and feeling that universal life force energy. If you've never experienced Reiki before, if you are a Reiki practitioner, you can use any sort of Reiki meditation that you like. I think Joshin Kokyuho is always really lovely with tea, because you can settle into your body and radiate that beautiful energy outward. But I will lead a slightly simpler version that sort of goes along the same lines. So I invite you to just get as comfortable as you can in your seat. Roll your shoulders if you need to. If there are any tight spots, just kind of gently investigate those as you settle into this place, settle into your body in this moment that will never come again. Every moment is completely unique. We might be joining each other for tea all together again, drinking the same tea, the same time of day, same day of the week, and it would be a completely different experience every time. You're welcome to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And just feel your breath. Gentle inhale and exhale. Your body is here for you and you alone. A precious gift. Feel the chair or the floor beneath you and feel yourself being supported. Supported by the earth and nourished by the air that you're breathing and the temperature in the room. Just being cared for. Now, if you like, you can visualize above the crown of your head a warm, beautiful, glowing light. It might be a brilliant white. It might be golden, but it's brilliant and clear. And just feels good to think about that light might be there. Now, on an inhale, imagine that light entering into your body through the crown of your head and sort of follow its journey down through your head, your neck, to your heart center, and then a little bit deeper, further down to your lower abdomen. In Japanese, this is known as the hara, this area of the body. In Chinese, it's known as the dantian. And it's where we gather this universal life force energy, this beautiful healing light. So let's spend a few rounds of breath just connecting with that cycle. So when you breathe in, imagine that light coming through the crown of your head. Maybe you can feel a sense of warmth as it descends to your hara. Just do that a few more times, just connecting with that drawing down of energy. And now on your next inhale, to follow that beautiful light down, imagine that that light is just gathered there in your hara. And when you breathe out, imagine that light radiates out into all places in your body. If it's more comfortable, you can imagine the light radiating out from your heart. Sometimes that's a little bit easier to connect with. But just focus on the breath. Inhale, drawing the energy in. Exhale, sending that energy out through your body and beyond your body, even out into the universe. Take a few more rounds. And just feel that beautiful wave-like motion, the in and out, the receiving and the giving, the ebb and flow. From here, you can visualize that warmth traveling to your hands. Sometimes it's easier to sense this energy if you bring your hands up in front of your heart and sort of pulse your hands closer together and then slowly come apart. Blow in closer together and apart. And see if you can sense anything between your hands. Might be a gentle tingling sensation. You might feel some heat. You might just feel a subtle difference that you can't quite put into words. And if you don't feel those things, that's okay. It's just a fun experiment. And you can bring your hands to your heart. Take a nice deep breath. Now we're going to do a short meditation with our tea before we move on to the silent meditation. So first, start by looking at your tea brewing vessel, whether you have a bowl, a cup, a mug. Touch it with your hands. See what you can pick up through your senses. The temperature, the texture. There might be varying textures. If you've already started brewing, your cup might be warm. If you haven't brewed yet, your cup might be quite cool. Just connect with the idea of your cup, mug, or bowl existing to hold tea for you. And if you haven't already brewed your tea, now we'll have our first cup or bowl together. So if you have your hot water nearby, now's the time to have it closer. So take your tea leaves or tea bag, if you haven't already. Add them to your brewing vessel. And if you like, you might want to experiment with moving slowly, moving intentionally, treating this almost like a dance. You can pour your hot water. And now just take a moment to connect. Temperature, texture, aroma. And see what happens when you bring presence to a cup of tea. Something you may have done thousands of times to have a cup of tea. But this moment is unique. This cup will never happen again. So see what happens to lean into that mindfulness. And now that we all have our tea, I'm going to start some really lovely, gentle music. We'll enjoy our tea together, separately, but together. And you are welcome to treat this time however best serves you. You may want to reflect on that first part of the precepts just for today. If your thoughts begin to wander, you can come back to just for today. You can also allow the tea to bring you back, allow your senses to bring you back, because the mind will wander. It's the nature of the mind. But we can always come back to this moment. I will start the music and we will regroup in 20 minutes. When you're ready, and start to slowly come back. If you like, place your hands at your heart. Thank you all so much for joining me for this session.